jettison. But as always, you can call me Jets, and that's Jets, Jets. You are on my channel now, which means that you are in a quiet and a safe space. It is still June, so I still want to wish you a happy Pride Month, and I thought I would show y'all some of my gay umbrella Sims. And when I say when I say umbrella, I mean like LGBTQ plus, all that. I usually just say gay as an umbrella. It is 2 a.m. and it is still almost 80 degrees outside. It was storming earlier and now it's just still really hot. So I am currently suffering in this hot room, but I thought I would just go ahead and film you all a video since it's stopped storming and there won't be so much background noise of like thunder and rain. I was also kind of scared the electricity was going to turn off again because that's been happening a lot. But anyways, let's get started with my Sims. As always, I'll include them like over here when I talk about them. So we're going to go kind of down the acronym. So I'm going to start with my lesbian Sims. And the first one is Candy Bear. And I also have my iPad over here so that I can look at them as well. So the first one is Candy Bear. She is a Maxis made Sim, which means that she came with a pack. She came with Windenburg. I don't remember what actual expansion that was. But you got clubs with it. What's the name of that one? I don't know. But she, in my game at least, is a lesbian. And I also changed her looks quite a bit because her proportions didn't make sense to me. Like, she had a very tiny waist and a large chest. And I was like, that looks off. So I adjusted her. I'm drinking a orange squeeze. These are pretty good. It's Olipop. Anyways, so Candy Bear, she's a party animal, and she's also a music lover, cheerful and outgoing. And as you can see, she has like really bright pink hair. I think when you originally get her, she's blonde with like pink at the ends, but I was like, just gonna make her, have full pink hair. And I think her hair and like her body proportions are the only thing I really edited. I think the rest of that is like her OG face. But she's really cute, and I cannot tell you who she is dating because that is going to spoil some stuff with my legacy Sims. But she's got quite a bigger role when it comes to my legacy Sims. But yeah, so Candy Bear is the first one, and then the next one is Jane Bird. I generated her. She is in a household of Sims that I generated to have just like in my town. And she is also a party animal because just, there's a thing you can do when you go to create a Sim, and you can create them from a story. And when you do that, it tells you what their job is, if they have one, and like what their traits are. And I do that a lot because they already have a job, and a lot of times it gives them money too. Like sometimes more than they would normally get if you just make them. But she loves outdoors. She is self-assured and she loves music. I thought I could tap on this and maybe the can. But this is just so nice and subtle. But yeah, Jane Bird is cute. That kind of makes me think of like a superhero name a little bit. But I really like her thick eyebrows. I try not to make any of my Sims look the same, which is kind of hard with the women sometimes because I tend to make female Sims that I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to quite a few different features, but then after a while your Sims kind of all start to like look similar, so I usually just like generate and then kind of go from there now. That is Jane Bird. That was really wet. Okay, and then the last lesbian Sim that I'm going to talk about, her name is Madeline Wiles, and she is a curator, which if you watched my Townie, introducing you to my Townie Sims, you saw that Hanji from Attack on Titan that I made for my game. I also made them a curator, and that just means they like dig for frogs, look for elements and crystals and stuff. It's kind of hard, I'm not gonna lie. It gets difficult. But that's what she likes. And she is cheerful, self-assured, and a vegetarian. Her hair is one of my favorites out of the OG like base game. I love that hair. That was actually the hair that Gwendolyn had originally in my game because I only had base game for a while, and that was the hair that Gwendolyn had for my first save. So that was my lesbians. And we're gonna move on to my gay boys. I only have two for you. Now, I'm only showing y'all like a small snippet of my Sims because honestly, I really don't play with straight Sims. The majority of my Sims are somewhere in the gay umbrella. So this is just a very small amount of them because I could not show y'all all like 100 Sim families that I have. And some of them I just create them and then send them off into the world and see what they do. But the first one, his name is Brenton Eddy. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Madeline, the last Sim that I just talked about, she has a son named Christopher from a previous relationship because it's honestly not rare for people to have children before they've, discover what their true sexuality is. I know quite a few people who that has happened to. So yeah, she has a son from a previous relationship. He is a teenager. So Brenton Eddy, he is a painter extraordinaire like Gwendolyn, and he loves outdoors, he is self-assured, and he is an art lover. And he is married to a man named Leslie. And you will see Leslie a little bit later. So that is Brenton. And then the next gay Sim that I'm going to talk about is Samuel Rutledge. And I made this Sim. I made him in Willow Creek. He's one of my Willow Creek Sims, which is where my legacy family is currently located. And so his story is he is an only child. His parents had him at quite an older age. They are well off. like they live in one of the richer houses in Willow Creek, in like the richest area. I think it's like where the goth house was originally. Anyway, so his dad was a banker, and I think his mother was just like a stay-at-home mom. And it's like the classic story of like dad was emotionally distant his entire life, and then the mother was overbearing. And Samuel grew up with a lot of like self-hate, I suppose. He hid in the closet for the majority of his life. He only comes out of the closet after his parents die of old age, because like I said, they were elders by the time he's an adult. So it's not until after his parents pass away that he comes out of the closet as a gay man. And he's also an overweight sim, and he decides that he wants to take better care of himself and love himself. So he starts going to the local gym, just to take better care of himself, going to the spa, doing yoga, just really trying to get some self-love. And it's while he is at the gym that he meets his future husband. His name is Alejandro, and I named him Alejandro because of that Lady Gaga song. I love that song. So they fall in love, and they end up getting married. And after that, they end up adopting a total of 3 kids. And their kids' names are Jimmy, Valerie, and Nicole. And they just kind of live happily ever after that. But I'm sure Samuel's mother is turning in her grave. But he's happy now, and that's all that matters. And his traits are goofball, good, and gloomy. And I love Samuel. Also, in his will, which he's an adult, so it's gonna be some time before he becomes an old person and passes away. But in his will, he's gonna leave the estate to become like a safe haven for gay kids and teens. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love Samuel. So the next part is my bisexual Sims. So the first one we have is this little cutie, and her name is Dara Pixies. And as you can see, she's an alien. I love the aliens. I usually do blue aliens, like I talked about Raina in my Townie Sims. I love Raina so much. That's my favorite alien. And I typically do like blue aliens because I don't know, it's the more appealing color to me than the green. But I was like, you know what? I want to make a cute green girl alien, and she is adorable. I think she's so cute, and I always give them like funky hair that kind of like goes with their skin, you know? Like Raina is blue with the really pretty silver hair. But Dara she wants to be a best-selling author, and she is good, athletic, and a genius. And she lives in the house with Jane Bird. So also living with Dara and Jane is Devontae Tate. He's super adorable too. I think he was generated, and I was like, wow, an attractive man for once. But he is also a bisexual man, and he wants to be a musical genius, and he is a goofball, a music lover, and outgoing. And I made those 3 to be like college townies, I guess, because they're all young adults. And I was like, man, I really need like some people for some of my Sims to hang out with, because I mean, there's people at the colleges, but not anyone that I really wanted them to be friends with. So I went ahead and made this household, and I just named it college. But I think they're all super cute. So after Devante, we have Leslie George, who is Britton's husband, and he is a bisexual man. And he has a son named Tobias from a previous relationship, and I think Tobias is still a child currently. And also Leslie came with those aquamarine eyes because he was auto-generated, and I was like, why not? I never use those. But he wants to be a best-selling author, and he is neat, good, and a bookworm. I love making like blended families in The Sims. Some of my favorite pastimes. Okay. So the next one we have is Joanne Wiles, and she is married to Madeline, who was my last lesbian Sim that I talked about. And she is so beautiful. She's one of the prettiest Sims I've made, in my opinion. But she wants to be fabulously wealthy, and she is good, neat, and a genius. So the next one is also one of my favorites. I think she's the only blonde included in this list, because to be honest, I really don't make blondes that much, because I prefer either funky colored hair or the black or the brown hair. I really don't make that many blondes. But her name is Sari Tanaka, and she is bisexual, but she is married to a woman, and they actually have 2 sons together. In The Sims, they have a thing now where you can have a science baby. So same-sex Sims can have children together, and it was just made with science, you know. So I have neighborhood stories turned on, and that means that Sims can autonomously have children themselves. And so they had 2 sons by themselves, and I was like, that's so cute. Did I say who she's married to? It's Naomi. Did I say that? But they have 2 sons, and their names are Lyle and Leo. And I was like, and that was generated. I was like, that is so cute. Sari wants to have a successful lineage, and she is a glutton, cheerful, and family oriented. I just want to see how this sounded. This is a little intermission. It's a little bit too tinny for me. I tend to stick with like wood tapping because I think that's the most pleasant. Also, you can see how bad this thing is sweating. I am pretty much the same right now. But anyways, that was a little intermission. So the last bisexual Sim that I have for us is Casey Rocca. This Sim is so beautiful. She's a MILF. She is a MILF. She has a son named Magnus from a previous relationship, and they both live with Casey's father. She is a city native and she is non-committal, a bro, and childish. But I think she is so beautiful, and I'm obsessed with her, and I love making alternative adults. Because I'm an alternative person myself, and I love to see older people who have not given up that style, and as you can see from her photo, she definitely has not. I think she's so cool. She's so cool. And she has the alien tattoos. So, Casey is definitely one of my cooler Sims. So we're going to move on to my trans Sims. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Yuki Bear. So Yuki is Candy's sibling, and Yuki, when you first get them, they use they them pronouns, at least for my game. Yuki is a cis woman through Maxis, but I was playing with them and I was like, I get trans mask vibes. So I changed their pronouns to they them, and I consider them to be trans masculine. That just makes sense to me for my gameplay. But they are a computer whiz, they are a loner, a cat lover, and a geek. And I think the bear household is super cute. I really like playing with them. And as I said, they live in Windenburg. So the next trans sim that I have is Rosemary Adams, and she is a trans woman. She lives with her roommate and her roommate's cat. But she wants to be a best-selling author, and she is adventurous, a geek, and athletic. And Rosemary came out as trans late in life. She didn't really have a safe space until later in life for her to be able to come out, but she is transitioning now, and she's in a much better place. So I'm very happy for Rosemary. And then the next sim that I have is Erika Murakami, and she is also a trans woman. She's actually currently a teen. She is in high school, and I do not have the high school pack, and honestly I need to get it. I just don't want to spend that much money on it right now. But she lives with her sister, who is a cis woman. But Erica has the soulmate aspiration, and she is good, outgoing, and a geek. And I think she's so freaking cute. She's adorable to me. And her sister is so pretty too. Like, they just have beautiful genes. And I think her sister was a townie, and then I made Erica through the using the gene thing, and I was like, let's make a trans woman. I realized while I was looking through my Sims, I really don't have a lot of trans men in my game, so I'm going to work on that because I tend to do trans women. So I'm gonna add more trans men to my game. So the next category is asexual, and I only am talking about one sim for the asexual one. I do have more than this one, but it's like more spoilers for my legacy sims, so I can't really talk about it. But anyways, this is Belle Parker Flynn, and I love her. I love her family. I made her whole family, the Flynn family. She has a sister named Melody Lace, and Belle Parker has her mother's red hair, and then Melody has their dad's black hair. Their dad was in the military. He has scarring on his face from that, and their mom is a curator. So Belle Parker is my asexual sim. She wants to be a bodybuilder. She is unflirty. She hates children, and she is athletic. But I think she's so adorable. Okay, and then the last category is my non-binary sims. So the first one I'm going to tell you about, and these 3 sims all live in the same household together because I made them all at the same time. So the first one is Hobart Ledbetter, and he uses he/they pronouns, and they are bisexual, and they want to be a painter extraordinaire, and they are also a geek, a foodie, and a bro. And then living with him is Aurora Mayberry, and she uses she/they pronouns. She's a lesbian, and I think they are freaking adorable. I love Aurora. She's also an alternative adult, as you can see. But they also want to be a painter extraordinaire, and they are a glutton, self-assured, and creative. Once again, like I said, I just like that stuff just gets auto-generated. If I do decide to play with the Sims, sometimes I'll change that stuff if it doesn't really fit their storyline, but for the most part, it doesn't bother me. And then the last Sim that I'm going to talk about is Paris Jeter, and they use they/them pronouns. They are gay, and they want to be fabulously wealthy, and they're a goofball, ambitious, and good. And like I said, those 3 right there all live in the same household together, and obviously they're not the only non-binary Sims that I have, but this was just a short list of 18 Sims. I was like, it's Pride Month, why not talk about my, Pride Sims? But I hope you enjoyed. I always like seeing the Sims that people make. And as I said before, I really love like show and tell ASMR videos, where it's just kind of like we're having a conversation with a little bit of tingles rolled in there as well. But yeah. So I will see y'all in the next video. Good night, good night.